Welcome to Ital is Vital, your natural health and wellness stop. Disclaimer: the information in this video is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always seek the advice of a qualified healthcare provider with any questions you may have regarding a medical condition. So the question is it true that it's primarily older people who are dying? And that's what, people have been saying. And the reality is, from the information that I have gathered thus far, based on especially the stats that I'm seeing here from the UK, they don't give all the figures and the details of it. But from what I can deduce based on the information given, most of the victims or most of the individuals who have died are people who are older individuals or elderly. They're saying that if you're in the age 70s, 80s, and so forth, you are at a higher risk. However, I don't see that it's because someone is necessarily elderly or someone is necessarily older. It has to do with the state of the body's defenses, what they quote unquote call the immune system, the body's ability to fight off any kind of illness. And this has no bearing specifically on corona. It's in general, whenever we have any type of illnesses that we are faced with, how well we do depend on the strength of our system. How we do depends on how strong our body is, how strong our body's defense system or mechanism is. There are instances where someone could be older and they survive. And there are instances when someone is younger and that person has died. Take, for example, the case of a woman who is 103 years old. She was diagnosed as having what they call the corona and got through okay. She has recovered and, they say she's doing well. There was another case of a man, he's 100 years old, and he had, I must say for her, she had very minor health issues. I think she had maybe something akin to a cold of some sort. The gentleman had a few health issues, none very serious, but there were some underlying health issues. However, he pulled through okay. Then there's the case of a 21-year-old young man. He died because he had cancer. From the fact that he had cancer, that would tell you that his body's immune system is already severely compromised. And so when you are ill and then you're faced with other challenges, the body is faced with other challenges, then it can be a bit more difficult. There is the case of in the UK, a few days ago, it probably has changed now. The youngest victim was a 45-year-old man, and he had some, I think, heart problems. And so we see where in all the cases thus far that I wouldn't say, because I don't have all the statistics, but from all the ones that I have seen that they have mentioned who have died thus far, I am yet to see someone refer to a case where someone had succumbed and they did not have other health challenges that was happening at that particular time when they were supposedly diagnosed with this. And so therefore, It all depends on the strength of your system. And I think one of the reasons why older people might succumb more easily is because they usually have more health challenges. Because in today's world, look at what is happening to our food and so forth. When, as we, the generation, if we don't do something, and I mean do something now, as time goes by, we're going to be getting sicker and sicker, younger and younger. So you find someone is 60 years old, is 50 years old, and they have all kinds of pills that they have to take and so forth. There's heart problems, there's diabetes, there are various problems, health issues that they have to deal with. And it is a fallacy where some people actually believe that we're healthier. No, we're sicker. As we go on in time, we become sicker because we are supposedly advancing in medicine, but it's really advancing in poison, because these things are poison. We are not taught to eat properly. We are not taught to eat a specific diet. We are taught to, eat all kinds of genetically modified foods that harm our bodies and deteriorate our system, so that by the time we reach a certain age, we need all kinds of medications and stimuluses to get up in the morning. And that is no way to live. We can begin to change that, but it starts at an individual level. Sometimes we look out and we say, nothing is being done. Look at what is happening. And we know that there is a system in place to ensure that people remain sick, because other people maintain their wealth off the back of other people's sickness. There's a small minority of people who think it is their duty and their right to control the rest of us, and they control us with the media, with the lies and the propaganda, with Hollywood, all the movies that they put out with predictive programming. They control us because they control our education system. We send our children to these schools to be indoctrinated. We have become willing participants in our own demise. And some of it, yes, is because of a lack of knowledge, and because we have been, when you have been told a lie for all your life, sometimes you just believe it. You just believe it, even when all the senses inside sometimes is raging. And it becomes even more difficult when it seems like everyone else around you believe the same lie. And sometimes even when the doubt begins to creep in, there are others who are telling you, no, it's your imagination, and, trying to push you in a different type of direction because they can't see what you see. And so, yes, it might seem like I am straying a bit, but let me get back on point. So what I'm saying is that no, it's not just the elderly are dying. The majority team of the people who are dying are elderly, yes. And that is because many of them do have other health issues, and so faced with any additional problems, it's more difficult for the body to cope, and therefore they would succumb more easily. In addition to that, I may also add that it is my personal belief that many people are dying from the treatment. People who have health conditions that they're dealing with, they are more susceptible, because here they are already challenged. The body is already challenged because the body is ill, and they are probably already receiving all kinds of chemicals from the doctors in order to deal with whatever conditions that they are dealing with. And here you have more chemicals coming in order to address this so-called corona. And I'm going to do a short video on this, exploring it a little bit more. But when we look at what the cold and flu-like symptom is, There's a reason why they can't find a cure for the common cold. Because the common cold, or what they call the common cold, is the part of the body's cleansing mechanism. You have to be able to break up the mucus, but to expectorate, to get it out of the body, that's critical. And so, are they doing that in these cases?